Now, James, you can unmute yourself. So what's going to happen is James is opening us up with a spiritual mind treatment or an invocation to set the intention of Froggy Friday. Then I'm going to sing I'm Opening, and that will go right into a meditation led by Michael. And we'll just stay really quiet. We'll stay unmuted, and we'll have time to even write a little journaling after Michael ends the meditation. So just come into that contemplative, quiet, grounding, centering time in our Froggy Friday service. James.
Thanks so much, Reverend Gwen. As you said, let's center ourselves, our mind, and our spirit, obviously with our body, in readiness for this. And therefore, I recognize the one power, the power that is in all, animates all, through all, and us all. This is the pure consciousness. The joy, the love that emanates all, that works for all, works through all and us all. This power is infinitely intelligent. It is the intelligence that governs the entire universe. The intelligence that puts each and everything into order and into perfect balance. This intelligence is the intelligence that manifests us all, that is individualized by all. Just as the rays of the sun individualizes sun. I perfectly manifest this essence, the essence widely referred to as God. This essence incarnates as me, manifests as me, and as each and every person in this Foggy Friday, and as everybody all over the world. We are all centered in this essence. And therefore realize the manifestation of God in our meeting today, in our Foggy Friday. That this Foggy Friday is manifesting love, is manifesting unity, is manifesting order, is manifesting harmony between us, is manifesting love that binds us all together, is manifesting in expansion that is going to, that we are realizing right now, right here. That right now, right here, we are getting elevated. We are immersed in this joy right now, right here. Therefore, with this, we are getting into that state. We are into that state, that joy. We are into that state of expansion. We are into that state of enlightenment, of happiness, which is God itself. All this is already true and manifested in the spirit. So grateful we are, therefore, that we are witness to all this. And as I submit this to the Lord, that which turns everything into my desire, into our desire. So grateful I am that this is actually already so. Therefore, submit this, knowing it is done. Therefore, let go and Lord. I request that all of us we say,
And so it is. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know.
So we can, each of us, get into a comfortable position. Sit with your back straight and cross your legs and cross your hands, arms. And we just set this up using 5 deep breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And I invite you to close your eyes if that is comfortable for you. And just scan through your body and notice any areas of discomfort. And when you notice it, just let it go. No need to judge it, no need to think about it. Just notice where you have any discomfort and let it go. And you can begin from the top of your head and just scan down from your head to your toe. Just one quick scan. And wherever there is discomfort, just let it go. Now I invite you to just notice your breath. You may feel it more on your upper lip or in your chest or in your abdomen. Wherever you feel it, just notice it. Just notice the rhythm of your breath. Just follow that rhythm of your breath. And when your mind wanders, like it's likely to do, just gently bring it back to your breath. And now to just add a little bit of focus to the breath, I invite you to count your breaths. Count your breaths all the way from number 1 to number 7. And after 7, you can begin all over again with number 1. And we are going to do that for a couple of minutes. I'll watch the time, so don't worry about the time. Just watch your breath. Count your breaths 1 to 7. And when you reach 7, go back all the way to 1. And when your mind wanders, just gently bring it back. Gently bring it back to the breath. The mind is likely to wander. Just bring it back. Be gentle with your mind. And we'll do that now in quiet for a few more minutes. Remember, if your mind wanders, just gently bring it back. Just a few more minutes. Now I invite you to let go of that focus on your breath. If your mind has been wanting to think, you let it think. Just a few seconds, just observe the mind and what it wants to do. Let go of that focus of the breath. I invite you to bring back your mind to the room that you're in. You can stretch a little. Take a deep breath. And when you're ready, just open your eyes.
Thank you, Michael. The breath. It's always grounding and centering us. It is that inspiration in spirit, if you break down that word. So it's always a good focus when you want to get still. Thank you. Well, let's just change it up. Let's go into our song that we usually, that gets us going. That's our theme song, and we sing it every time we come together. Let me just get this a little bigger. There we go. Okay, everyone, sing with me. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. One more time. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. When it's all said and done, we are one. We call these spirit fingers. It's a way of us celebrating. Woo! Thanks for the participation. Wow, wow, wow. Well, this is Froggy Friday. This is our beautiful Froggy Friday service, coming together in community, like I said. My name is Reverend Gwen Smith. I have been renamed Nyakena by our blessed community, and it is a joy and a pleasure to be here. My co-spiritual leader is Reverend Barb Samuel, and she is actually off on a medical engagement appointment. So she could not be here, but she sends her love to you all. Wow. We're back to squares again instead of in person, you guys. It's just a little bit disappointing. But I am so grateful that we are able to get together on this Zoom platform. Yes, Kareth, we had such a good time in person that it's hard to give that up, isn't it? Well, bear with me, everyone. I'm going to relate back to the conference a lot. So if you can just use your own imagination, get the feeling of excitement that's coming from me about the conference. For those who got to go, most of us on the screen, on this call, Kelvin, I'm not sure if you were there. I don't remember seeing. Are you new? Okay. Well, welcome. Welcome. We'll talk later because I'd like to know how you came about. We like to know how people find out about us. But if you could just imagine, not that if you didn't get to attend, that we just in your mind's eye follow along and just catch on to that whole big that feeling. It was such a great feeling, and it was very successful, and I am still dumbfounded how it's over. Like, how did that incredible event happen? But took so much detail and planning and executing of those plans, and it's completed. It's done. But you know what? It's not completed. It's got a ripple effect, and the effect of it will go on and on and on. And that is one of the best things that we can come to know by knowing the science of mind, that we're all affected, whether you were there in presence, in person, or you were on the other side of the earth in the United States or Canada. So yes, I just came home. So it's with mixed feelings. Like I said, it's kind of, I'm just noticing now how I'm seeing everybody in little boxes again, how I have to come to terms that I'm not there, but it is also good to come home to family and my own bed and my own surroundings in a way. And it wasn't super cold when I came back. It was +7 Celsius, which is pretty good for this part of Canada in middle of February. So um, I I've had plenty of time to think about sort of the whole 4 or 5 weeks I was in Kenya, but it's not processing, it's not assimilating yet because it was a lot and it was big and it was lovely and it was heavenly. And so it's going to take a moment to process everything. But I've been really thinking about the conference coming into Froggy Friday today. And of course, like I said, it's more than what I can superficially feel. It's going to go, I'm going to have to go deep. And like most, we rode a real high for that whole weekend. I know some of us, like Kareth, would have liked to have gone longer. It went by really, really quickly. And um, now we get to kind of sit with it and be with it and question, like, now what? What do I do with it? Like, what do I do with all the events that I experienced? How has it changed me? Am I different? There's no way we couldn't have changed by being present in that time and space with everyone. And am I taking all those precious moments that were at the conference and renewing it moment by moment and really feeling it and really going back into that time and space and where it is leading me? But it made me think about our daily themes. We had the overall theme, Kenya, the Heart of Africa 2024 conference. And then we had the daily themes, the 3 C's. Does everybody remember? Connection, change, and celebration. And boy, we celebrated. Every day was a celebration, actually. But the last day was a grand finale, let me tell you, thanks to our Kenyan community. They really outdid themselves. The first day, connection. Connection to me is really important. It's a really great, it's great for me because it brings in such a human element of love and compassion. And when I was thinking about that idea of being that theme for connection, to start the conference, our very first day, my idea of it was everybody was intermingling and there was talking and there was engagement and there was people introducing themselves and recognizing other people maybe from a Zoom call and going, hey, I've been with you in a Zoom call. Or I know there was some connections with some of our practitioners who had some of the attendees who were on their paneling committee. So to be in person and, like Reverend Barb says, pressing flesh, that means hugs. It was just extraordinary to see all the connection, and people were so at ease doing it. Generally, everyone seemed to be at ease doing it and relating to everybody. And in the very first introduction and welcoming, I asked everyone if they'd please be willing not to sit necessarily in the same spot every time they came back into the room from a break or to start the day. I wanted people to shift around the room and have different experiences with different people and making those connections, because that was the theme of the day. And everybody did it with such ease and grace and friendliness and curiosity. And it was, there was a hum, there was a humming chatting in the room that was just so beautiful to watch and behold. And lots of times I just stand on the periphery and just take it all in and soak it all up. It was a beautiful time to be present. You know, with our teaching, with the philosophy of science of mind, one of our most highest of regarded principles is we are one. And we can say that all we want. We can verbalize that we are one. But what does it mean? And when you get to experience and coming together like we did on that first day and making those connections, that oneness is right before our eyes. It's within us. And you can't express the magnitude of the experience of really knowing that you are one. So we are individualizations of that one. So when we come together in connection, we have that human experience of connection. And there was a quote, and I don't know who it's from, but it says it's sharing the gift of presence. Sharing the gift of presence. Not necessarily always the big P presence, as in God, source, life itself, but our presence, our human presence, and it's enveloped into the big presence. Presence is that being present in that moment and being with the other person, engaging. Brene Brown says, as the energy, connection is the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued. When they can give and receive without judgment, when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. That's powerful. That's really powerful. And that, my friends, that was so evident in that conference room that day. You know, connection can mean a lot of things. I mean, if you have a bad connection with your electricity, you end up having no electricity. There's no flow. There's no way of it going from wire to wire. You have to have that connection. If your plumbing doesn't have proper connection, you could have a real mess on your hands. Well, the same for us. If we don't have connection, it can lead to loneliness, and it can lead to feeling lost. It can lead to some sense of unhappiness or unworthiness if we don't have connection. And that can also be not just with our human selves, but with the divine. Connection is why we're here. It gives purpose and meaning to our lives. Yes, it can. But we can also be alone with ourselves if we know that we are divinely connected with that source, that one, and knowing that we are one and being strong, confident, and in trust that we are one. But when we get a room full of like-minded people making those connections, being connected, there is so much love. There is so much excitement. Honestly, for me, it was absolute bliss. It was heaven on earth, and it really rocked my soul. It was a beautiful moment that Friday. That whole idea of connection was profound. And it, you know, we did so much visioning. Now, folks that are new here, visioning is when we are divinely led through meditation and a process, and we allow spirit to come through and lead the way. And this is what this conference was. It was divine ordained. We allowed spirit to have its way through us, and we brought about this conference with that tool that we have in our toolbox that we call Science of Mind and Spiritual Practices. Day 2, that was change. So, change. If you come to a conference, you're surrounded by all that love and that compassion and that energy, and that it can be uplifting, it can be contemplative. We cannot but be changed. There's just no way of being present with those speakers and the music and the surroundings to stay the same. Unless you were not present, sleeping in the corner, even then, I don't think you could help but get changed. Change is happening all the time anyways. We know that. That's a fact, and it's undeniable. But when you walked into that room after listening, or sort of out of that room after listening to the speakers and the presentations and the music, the change was at depth. There's just no way. Even if the surface left you just, if you're starting to crack open, that's still a change. To come to such an event and not be changed, it would be like the caterpillar saying, no thanks. I'll just stay a caterpillar, thank you. It can't possibly. It has to change and transform into that butterfly. And another word for change is transformation. So when you think about it, even if you were a little bit confused in following maybe a presentation at the conference, even if it just led to more questions, a desire for more, there was that curiosity, that is still change, folks. That is still change. Something in you is stirring, and things that change you is desire and discomfort. No one left that building unchanged unless they were totally shut down, like I said. And that even so, they would still be getting hugged. I know they would have gotten loved up. So that too would have inspired and ignited change. I know that. But here's the ironic thing. Change is always occurring. We know that. But the very thing that is absolute, infinite, creative, and life-giving is unchangeable. Take that in for a minute. The very thing that is absolute, creative, givingness, changing, creative, all those words is unchangeable and changeless. Ernest Holmes says, we are living in a world of continual change, a world in which thought, thing, and experience are all in the constant state of flux. It is the very nature of the universe that there should be continual change and variation. It is a living world, the creation of a living creative intelligence, not a static world created by a God now dead and departed, who has left it to decay. No, it is vital and it is alive. The mind that created it is not apart from it. It is always active in and through it. Just go out into nature. You see change all the time. And remember what Brother Ishmael said, and even in the darkness, that's where we are. That's where we can have our greatest change and be inspired. Behind that which changes, behind that which causes the change, we found that there is something stable and changeless, something external upon which all external events depend for its very existence. Behind the endless process of change and the infinite variety of experience and expression, there is that which does not change. We should never be afraid of change. I have trouble with that. There's change that bothers me. There's change that bothers me in the world, especially when it comes to technical stuff, because I feel like I'm way behind the 8 ball. But you know what? It's going to happen with or without me. We should never be afraid of change, says Ernest Holmes, never fearful of what will come. Instead, we should bring to bear on each new event the influence of the creative nature of our thought, an influence that is founded on inward calm, a sense of certainty and peace, which will reflect itself in the changing scene of our everyday lives. Okay, so I need to be calm inside. I need to be serene. I need to be accepting. AI is in my world and I calmly see it. The trouble is I don't understand it. That's where my fear comes, right? As we look for and discover the nature of the infinite, which does not change, we find that we develop a complete trust in its integrity. Hear that. As we look for and discover the nature of the infinite, which does not change, we find that we develop a complete trust in its integrity. James said that in his treatment. We are again reminded of Einstein's remark that God does not play dice with the cosmos. There is that divine order. And then we come to process a feeling of security, which is enhanced by the knowledge that each of us has a personal and intimate relationship with the infinite, that which is changeless. It is from this inward basis of certainty, that sense and awareness of our relationship to God, who is changeless, from which all infinite expressions flow, that all our thoughts should flow. One question I was asked when I did my ministerial paneling to become a minister and get licensed was, they asked me, what is the one thing about the teaching, this philosophy, that you hang on to, that is your life preserver? And I said that God is everything. It is absolute. It is everywhere. So what I know about that was anything that shows up in my life that looks like something I want to change, that I want to shift, that I don't like it anymore, that is troublesome, that appears as a problem. I know that in that certainty of the absolute, I know that too is God. And I know too that it can be, if I tap into that source, that infinite source, then I know I find the solution. And I find the solution that works best for me. And I find the solution that works best in dissolving that apparent problem. So we come to this event and we talk about the change. We become and shift into those things that we are hearing and integrate it into our lives and integrate it into our way we speak, the way we embrace life, the way we embrace more of that compassion and that more joy and more love in our lives. But we make those shifts as we go along and as the conference progressed, because like I said, no one walked out of there unchanged, and most of us became changed at depth. Day 3. Celebration, the third C. Well, it was indeed a celebration. It was a day of coming together. We started with no power. We had to do what we called a pivot. We had to change things up again. We had to just breathe and let it be. Not a hard start at 9. And we started a little bit later, and the power or generator, whichever it was, I don't know, came on so that we could proceed and have our music and our beautiful Taizé service that ended up being a little bit adjusted as well. Nonetheless, we came together and we joined in and we became into that space of celebration. So our third and final day was a beautiful time. We had celebrated what had come before, our speakers, the culmination of the whole last 2 days. There was such symbolism. And why do we celebrate? Why do we celebrate? It seems like the natural thing to do when there's an event, when there's an achievement, etc. So I looked it up, and this was a psychological point of view. Celebrations are deeply rooted in the human culture. They represent a significant part of our lives, whether it is giving birth, graduation, birthdays, and achievement. It symbolizes the importance of milestones and serves as joy and socialization. Neurologically, it releases all those great, uplifting, euphoric hormones, oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins, all giving us that great surge, that great sense of joy, of happiness, of bliss, of fun, and it gives to us love and self-love, fulfillment, and a sense of success. Furanha, Nina Kupenda, all comes into play. It's beautiful and it's uplifting and it's joy-filled. Celebrate the goodness we did through song, dance, games, food, visiting, selfies, cake. Don't forget the cake, and so much more. We had the movement of the line together. We broke bread together. We engaged together. We cheered together. We toasted together. It was so much celebration, and we got to have that socialization, that psychological definition talked about. That was when people really started to socialize and just be with each other instead of kind of, having this hum and this visiting during tea time or before the conference started to having to have it disrupted. It was an open 4 or 5 hours of just being together in all kinds of ways. Spiritually, celebration is recognizing and celebrating that we are all intricately connected to each other by that power greater than all of us. That was our connection to that power and one another, and it's grounded in love and compassion, says Brene Brown. Life should not be lived, it should be celebrated. And we in Science, Mind, Philosophy, or this teaching, it is a new thought movement. New because we can have a new thought and change our lives. A movement because it is forward thinking, it is forward advancing, it is taking it out into the world by means of sharing, being it, studying, questioning it, being curious, using spiritual practices, having a conference to share the love, the light, and the life that is ours to use. When I was thinking about us being as a movement, I kept thinking about all the ways that there is this rhythm. And remember, we're going to the whole theme here. Remember, our theme was Kenya, the heart of Africa. Now, if you close your eye and in your mind's eye, you see the outline of the continent of Africa. And over Kenya is a heart, a pulsating heart. And as it pulsates, it goes out and pulsates and goes out. And this is the image that we kept seeing during visualizing. And visualizing is that downloading of what Spirit has in mind for us to do. And within that heartbeat going out is this, there's a rhythm. The heart beating has a rhythm. And there's so much rhythm in the Kenyan culture, in the African culture. There's the beating of the drums, the working of the drums. There is, when you watch the giraffe move, there is this elegance, this majestic, mystical movement of the giraffe. I know that most of the time you see them standing, just eating and chewing their cud. But when you see them move, that's when you see the magical and the mysticalness of them. And it's in that same rhythm. When we danced with the Maasai, they too had that rhythm, much like the giraffe, much like that beat of the heart. And when we were dancing in line, when we were clapping our hands, when we were expressing together, we all were in that rhythm. The heart of Africa was a divine ordained that was a theme for the overall conference. And with it, like I said, that pulsation outward. There is no way that heart of Africa, which beats, sending out that flow through a magnetic field, is energizing, and the vibration of that conference went out into the world, way beyond the borders of Kenya, way beyond the continent and the ocean surrounding the continent. Just like the butterfly flaps its wings on one side of the world, it affects the vibration. The vibration of that flap affects the other side of the world. We produced a vibration that was sent out and around the world. There is no way it couldn't have. So if you could just imagine that room was just rocking with the music, with the visiting, with the connection, with the change, with the allowing of us all being together in that harmonious, in that welcoming, in that warmth that the conference offered. It was powerful moments of splendor, of quiet, of ahas, of laughter, connection, change, celebration. That energy was off the charts. There was lots of times, like I said, I just stood back and took it all in. And like a mama's pride, I was so elated. My heart space was just so open, so expanded with the goings on in front of me and around me. There was no confinement. There was only increase, expansion, inspiration, and it was infused with all the attributes of spirit, emanating that warmth of the love and light everywhere. It is that was at the very core of the Heart of Africa conference, was being one in that divine impulse. It was a beautiful, blessed thing to experience. And I can only impress upon that for those who could not attend, but I hope you can feel the energy of how it was. And just know that there is no separation. There's only inclusion. There is only one. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. In each and every one of you, it was a blessed time to be together, and I'm so grateful. Know that if you did not get to attend the conference, we are going to do another one. And each and every one is different, so you got to show up and check it out. Is there any questions? Anne, you were there. You were the first, it was probably the first exposure you had to Science Mind. How did you feel? Can you share with us? Anne Machera. Sure.
It was amazing. I didn't know that Kenya that day we have this. But when I met this group, it was just amazing. My heart has been filled with so much peace, so much joy, so much love. I can't even explain. It was life-changing for me. It was like a life-changing moment to know that I can have a like mind who get to understand like something I say, and then kind of open my heart to invite other people to understand all this, and it's just amazing.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
You want to share it, right? You want to share it.
Yeah, I want to share it. I will share it, and I'm sharing it. Yes.
And the other beautiful thing, it was a safe place as a new person, newcomer to it.
Yeah.
It was a safe place to talk freely.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoyed it. I can't even explain.
Excellent.
The feeling.
Well,
I wish we can have another one soon.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yes.
We are shooting for 2 to 3 years from now, so keep that in mind.
And then, Anne, all you have to do is contact Kareth because she's ready to do it all over again.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes.
Anastasia, you got your hand up.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Mine is a question.
Sure.
When you talk of connecting and considering that we live in a world where not everyone practices the science of mind, So you may find people who are still maybe in the mental plane, their behavior does not agree with what, we teach, this kind of philosophy. So when we talk of being one and connecting, how do you connect with such people?
Well, first of all, this teaching does not force anybody to follow this path. Everybody is on their own path, and we just hold them in love. And if you can't talk freely to them, they're not receiving it, then that's your signal. You let it go, and you just love them up and know that they're on the path that is good, best for them, and it's their highest and greatest good. There's no forcing this. This is an inside job. Coming into Science of Mind, it's about discovering self. And some people are not ready. Some people will never be ready in this lifetime, and that's okay. We're not here to force anything. Just like Anne said, as soon as she got involved, like she just wants to share it. But when you go out and share your experience, all you can do it is from the I perspective and respect everybody else's belief. And if there's something that you say that twigs them and connects with them, they may have to sit with it for a bit and then come back to you and say, hey, you said something, I'm kind of curious about it. The other thing is just be yourself. There are several people who have come into this teaching, come to classes, and they picked up on somebody's, just their energy. Lots of times people say it's your workmate. They look at you and go, what's going on with you? Like, you're happy all the time, and you don't get stressed out, and you don't let things bother you. And what's going on with you that I've seen this change in you, and you're smiling all the time? Like, what is that? And so then that's an opening. So you say, like, I find that life is to be filled with joy and expression, that we are here to just be ourselves, and that life is good. If we look for it, if we want it. Does that help, Anastasia?
Yes, but now what I'm trying to also understand is now, maybe when dealing with conflicts, like I'm saying, maybe you're at work and somebody, behaves in a way that hurts you, and you feel like, what, we are not connecting here. So how do you manage that? Because you want to keep your peace, you really want to love them, but you find that whatever they've done is preventing that connection. Like the way you talked of the plumbing. Yeah.
About the what? When I talked about the what?
Plumbing.
Oh, yeah, when you don't have the connection, you have a mess. Well, the other thing is don't engage in, you're talking about somebody being kind of mean and saying mean things about you? Or
yes. Yeah.
Well, then you got to put up a boundary. You don't get to talk to me like that. I deserve better, and you're not talking to that. I'm just going to walk away and let you cool down. That's it. That's it. Your connection does not have to be with that person in that moment.
Okay.
You can step.
Thank you.
You can step away. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, it does. Yeah.
Hurt people hurt people. So know that that person is actually hurting inside, and they want to have everybody else to join them in that hurt. So you don't have to buy in. Beautiful. Anybody else? I'm sorry that not everybody was there. Our beautiful teachers, Karen, Michelle, Pat. I know you were all there in heart and mind. Okay.
And I love the pictures you sent because I saw people in their real size instead of just a little blank, little black box. It was wonderful. I didn't know Agnes was a tall woman. Oh my
She is
God.
a tall. I think they all thought I was shorter than I was. Oh well, I'll claim it. I take after my grandma and I love her, so. Oh, we got Stonic and
Hi.
Winnie joining. Hello. Hi, Pat.
Hi. I'm having a Kenyan experience because my internet on my computer is not working for some reason. It's working on my tablet, and so here I am on the phone. But I thought that this might be a great segue to let people know that this is a lifelong process. Like, this is a lifelong journey. Once you step into this, there's no going back. There's no going back. You will continue to grow, and you will continue to evolve, and you will continue to have a deeper understanding that you can't change anybody else. We have this saying about it's an inside job. So we change our thinking. We change our perspective. And there is a great class coming up on March the 13th. I just thought I'll do a little plug for that.
You
And
do
it's
that.
called,
You do that.
It's called Change Your Thinking. And it goes for 6 weeks on Wednesday evenings. And myself and Reverend Claire will be facilitating that class. And it is a great opportunity to get sort of a foundational introduction to how metaphysics works, how that works when it comes to relationships, when it comes to abundance, when it comes to health, when it comes to creativity and the creative process. So I would really encourage everyone to sign up for that class if you're available on Wednesdays and participate in that. You could, even if you've taken the class before, there is always more to be revealed. So thanks for letting me make that that little plug.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. It's coming up, you guys. That's how we learn. That's how we present. We're a teaching philosophy. And so we run classes so that you can get more engaged in and deepen into how to use the spiritual practices and tools that we have. So it's a powerful class, that one. All right, everyone. So we are Centers for Spiritual Living Kenya, and we are a center that runs on financial donations. We have to pay the bills, keep the lights on. We have an office, we have other expenses, and if this is the place where you can get your spiritual nourishment, your spiritual support, we ask that you consider tithing, which is giving some money up. That's called circulation. And that is a principle of the universe, to circulate your money, not hang on to it and grip it, but give it up, and so that it can come back to you. And there's this, because it will, it's circulation. So whatever you can donate to our center, you can do it through M-Pesa. I don't have the office number right now, and our lovely assistant, office assistant, isn't on here, but everyone mostly knows Nancy. Just give of your heart, allow it to flow, and then it flows back tenfold. So just know that this is a part of the teaching as well, and spiritual tool that you can use in your everyday life for your abundance and prosperity. So we have a couple of offertory affirmations. Now, before we say these, if there's anybody that would like to spend a little bit of time, like a 2-minute miracle, that's all, just a 2-minute miracle with our practitioners, so that they know the truth for you in solving a problem. Maybe you want more good, maybe you're unsure, maybe there's some confusion in your life. Please put your hand up, and we'll hook you up with a spiritual coach, licensed coach, that will know the truth for you. And it's all confidential, because we'll put you into a breakout room. So say these affirmations following me. So you can unmute. I am filled with the energy of abundance.
I am filled with the energy of abundance.
I'm willing to share my financial good with my spiritual community.
I am
I am
willing
willing to share my financial
financial
good
good
with
my
with
my
my
spiritual
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 community.
community.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Is. Know that you are loved and blessed, and I'm so grateful that you're all here. Is there anybody that wants to put their hand up for a 2-minute miracle? James is wanting a session. 2 minutes. That's all. That's all you get, James. State your problem. Get out. Know that our licensed practitioners are trained in the art and science of knowing the truth, and they have a beautiful way of presenting themselves and holding you in that truth. So they are professionals. Anastasia is wanting treatment.
Okay.
Okay. And are you doing that, Michelle Taylor?
Yes, I am. So I need Kareth, Alfred, and Patrick to stay.
And do your magic. Do your knowing. Calvin, can you unmute?
Yeah, sure. Hi.
Hello. How did you find us?
I was recommended by Professor Mbabu. I don't know if you know him.
He's our best ambassador, that man. That's awesome.
Yes, he's been a
awesome.
mentor. He's been a good support system and a good friend.
Oh, good. Good. Oh, thank you, Anastasia. You put the office number on the chat. That's awesome. Beautiful. Okay. Well, blessings, everyone. May you go in peace. May you have the most delightful sleep, restoring yourself when you're restful sleep, and know that you are loved. And please join us again in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we have another Froggy Friday. Thank you.
Okay. Anastasia, that's okay.
What happened?
Kareth, you're in room 2. James, you're in room 2 with Kareth. Anastasia is gone. Okay.
How you doing, Winnie? Mathani, hello. Are you and Jack there?
Hi, no, Jack is in Nairobi. I came back to Nakuru today. We are on half term, just finishing our half term.
Oh, that'll be
Yes.
nice. Did you get a rest?
Change of scene is a good rest, I guess. Yeah, I went home to see my
You're not very convincing.
Not physical rest, but I went home to see my parents. That was nice. Yeah.
Oh,